How was the concert?
Well, the concert was awesome. I will say this. I've been very lucky to do a lot of things in my life. That was the biggest rush I've ever had.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Being on a stage where 17,000 people are screaming at him and you think they're screaming for you. And nobody else is screaming at you and they're upset. Like out here, most of the time over half the people are mad at me and they're screaming and it could be at me. Sometimes they're cheering. Everybody there was cheering and excited. And that was a great deal. I mean, I've never been through anything like that. Honestly, I didn't want to get off the stage. I kind of want to stay up there a while. I could see why those guys get addicted to that.
That's different than like being on stage after a bowl win, you know, with the trophy and everything.
Yeah, it's just, you know, that's awesome because you celebrate the team and they won and then the crowd. But they're going, I don't know how long I was up there, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Those people going crazy all the time. And I was just playing it in my mind like it's because of me and that Zach wasn't up there. But it's a pretty big deal, pretty cool.
Did you know him before the animal?
They had called me several times wanting me to do it, and it worked out great. I knew about him, and then Gage, my youngest, said, "Dad, really? This guy's big time." And I said, "Well, I thought he was, but I didn't know I was going to fit in my schedule." It just ended up being the next day was an off day for us, so it worked out. It is tough for me, old people. You know, I didn't get on until 2:30 in the morning. They don't go on till like 10. Well, 10, I'm 30 minutes asleep normally.
Yeah.
So that was a tough deal, but I'd do it again now. I'd do it again. It was awesome.
Are you a country fan?
Yeah, I like all kinds of music. I like, well, you guys hear what I like. I like all kinds of music. I like country. I'm pretty versatile in that area. Beastie Boys? Yeah, I do a little Beastie Boys. I actually saw them in concert in New York City, Madison Square Garden. That was back in the 90s.
How are your quarterbacks looking?
Good. They're doing good. They're playing really well. And I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, somebody, I don't remember who it was. And there's no way we could name a starter right now. We just can't. And I'm a little surprised that it's gotten to this point. But whenever we feel like that it's best for the team based on what's happening in practice, we will, but not right now.
Is there a worry about splitting reps, or is everybody doing fine in that aspect?
We're getting a lot of reps. I mean, we practice differently now than we used to because of COVID, and it's really, really good for our organization. They're getting a lot of reps.
Mike, you had a staff member head to the NFL recently with Mariah. How important is that position, and how close are you to maybe getting somebody in there? Because I assume you got to do that.
They're in the process of finding candidates. That's the one aspect of our profession that's going to continue to grow. We have enough coaches and analysts and people like that. But the recruiting side of it, because of the portal and the sense of urgency and how the portal works based on the window, that's very important, that position, because as I've said earlier, when we come home from the bowl game, the next day we have official business. It's crazy. And we don't have enough manpower to evaluate all the portal people ASAP. So, very important position. And I know they're being very selective, and the candidates are trying to get approved to get in for an interview.
What are some of the specifics of what that role does day to day?
A lot of planning with recruiting weekends, game days, conversations with families on campus, evaluation of players, text message communication, a lot of paperwork to find out who's out there, where they're at, which ones are available. I mean, it's an ongoing job. That job, the workload of the recruiting office has doubled in the last 2 years.
Coach, how much does the guy you do choose to be the quarterback affect your playbook? Is there different guys bring different skill?
Not as much as maybe it would have in the past at times. There's similarities in what they do. There's some of them that throw certain routes better, some of them run better. But for the most part, I'm going to throw out 80% of it's going to be consistent.
And would you be comfortable with playing multiple guys in those first early games of the season?
What about your defensive line? That's become such a decade or so, obviously a different look for those guys. But how's that group?
Really like
specifically
I
sound?
really like our defensive line because we have depth, and now that we've integrated some of the odd front, we're one less guy out there burning up reps, and that's what you run into is in this league. They play so many plays they get tired. Now the league's changing a little bit with there's more teams huddling, not playing as fast, but still those guys burn a lot of energy. Same thing with the offensive linemen. But I really like our depth, and I feel like that we could play 10 linemen, 10 defensive linemen in the first half, in the first game, and be very comfortable with them.
Do you know who is likely to start?
I mean, if I was just, they're rotating every snap, so Nate, I guess, would be up there. Walter Shute would be up there. Kirkland would be up there. Goodlow has been up there. Deshaun's been up there. I mean, obviously, when we're in a different front, Collins up there. They all rotated.
Kirkland looks like nose tackle. He just looks like he's going to play that position. What have you liked about him?
Well, we brought him in here not knowing that we were playing more odd front. It worked out great for us. So, he's 360 or whatever he weighs, and he just has to go up the field and drive the center back. And he's perfect for that for us. So he's in much better condition now. Rod Glasser really, really helped him. Strength is a non-factor. Strength is through the roof. Conditioning and agility is where he's made his biggest strides, and we feel good about where he's at.
Along the lines of Jenny's question, not just at the defensive line, but across the board, you've had him out here long enough that you can kind of tell how good you are as a team athletically, how much speed, strength, overall.
I think our defense can run. And we've recruited speed when we had that luxury. We didn't want to make speed more important than being productive in high school, but if we had the comparison of the two guys that were just as productive, we've tried to go with the speed the last 4 or 5 years. And we've been fast on defense, and I feel like we're going to be fast on defense this year.
Offense, athleticism.
Yeah, we have healthy wide receivers that we haven't had in 2 years, so automatically we become a faster team.
Like, what have you seen out of his Xavier Benson? It'll be a second year with you guys. I know he's dealt with some kind of off-the-field stuff. And he said at media day that he played more comfortable this offseason. Have you seen that from him, or what?
Yeah, he's made the most improvement of anybody on our team from the bowl game until now. And he's really comfortable with himself. He's comfortable with our environment. He has a great relationship with Coach Nardo. And I'm very pleased with him. I'm very happy for him. His demeanor, his leadership. There's several things he's done in the last week to help our team that he wouldn't have done last year for whatever reason, but that's obsolete now that he is in the great frame of mind and really helping us. I look forward to seeing him having a great year.
Bryce Drummond is a transfer that he's been a quarterback, tight end. You guys now have moved into a fullback. What have you noticed from him?
Good cook. You're a really good cook. He came over to my house a few times in the summer, and I put him to work doing some pretty hard labor for the boys, and it was interesting with him.
He's used to that.
It didn't bother him at all. Everybody else is like, oh my God, I do this. It's hot, man. And he just worked, never said a word. And so that demeanor and work ethic he has, I think will translate into football. He needs time to grow, get used to the speed of the game, develop his body. But he's got ability, and he has a former quarterback's thought process in the game. Now he just needs to change his body a little bit.
Has Kristen taken you up to Pawhuska?
We have been there and gone through. Was coming back from a baseball game from Bartlesville and went through there for that reason. And have you been there?
I haven't been.
You need to go. It's really cool. They own most of that street, and there's a hotel, like an old hotel, like you'd see on Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
You heard Gunsmoke.
Yeah. Watched it last week.
Yeah, you know what Gunsmoke is? Yeah, it's a good one. And Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's good stuff. But anyway, we went in and ate at one of her restaurants, a pizza place, something, and then I saw a hotel I thought was cool, and then they said that they own that also, and it's an old hotel that you would see maybe like in the early 1900s, and she's kept it that way. But she's got it going on up there, that's for sure.
Hey guys, one or two more. We gotta get to the fire.
Yeah, wait,
Having divided that position group from the cowboy backs into tight ends and fullbacks, how does that change things?
It's been good. We're playing tight ends and fullbacks, and then we're playing a little cowboy back in between, but it has to have helped our running game. I mean, I'm hanging my hat on it. It has to have helped our running game. If not, then it's just not going to be as fun.
Last one.
What are you expecting out of Jaden Bray, assuming he can stay healthy this
He's
season?
doing good. He's doing well. Him and Shetron are playing well. They're competing. They're winning the jump ball contest out here. They're starting to use their body, pluck the ball out of the air, you know, do things that they should do with their size and structure. You had one of those.
yeah, Jim Harbaugh's in a little bit of trouble. He got a 4-game suspension for lying to the NCAA. Infraction said, we're not buying it. Would you have liked the 4-game suspension for Dez in 2009?
You know, until you walked in a man's shoes, you don't know anything, but Dez failed to tell the truth with one question on a $14.38 Applebee charge. And he was 19, and he went in with them and was scared, like we all would have been. And he said, no, I didn't do it. And they suspended him for that. And he never
For the
played
whole
again.
year, yeah.
Never played again.
And they said, they also said, we thought we showed leniency by not giving him a lifetime ban.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big fan of that because he's a great player, but that was a poor judgment based on, here's a 19-year-old that's in a room with people in coats and ties and scared. And of course he's not going to admit it, but it was $14. Nowadays, he could have probably flipped around, filed a suit against him and won out of court for what they did to him. That's my personal opinion on it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.